Before machines, it was real hands that shaped the journey. They didn't just build railroads, they built the future. Their stories rode every rail, but history forgot their names. This is the face of war, a German prisoner after the Battle of Stalingrad. January 1943. He was one of the few survivors. 280,000 entered. Fewer than 6,000 returned. This is New York City, in midair. 1909. Workers defied gravity to finish the Manhattan Bridge, one of the world's greatest engineering feats. No drones, no harnesses, just steel, sweat, and skyline dreams. This is General William Tecumseh Sherman, the man who brought total war to the South, feared by enemies, controversial in victory. His march to the sea changed warfare forever. He didn't just fight battles, he shattered legacies. Every face here witnessed history. Berlin, 1918. The end of World War I. The birth of a revolution. Empires crumbled. A republic rose. And no one knew what would come next. Paris, 1895. A train overshot the station and flew out the window. The brakes failed. The engine crashed through a wall, landing in the street below. Miraculously, most survived. The photo? Instantly iconic. March 4th, 1865. Abraham Lincoln stands here for the last time. As the Civil War neared its end, Lincoln delivered a speech of healing, not vengeance. 41 days later, he was gone. This man just got shot in the chest on purpose. It's 1923. They're testing one of the first bulletproof vests, with real bullets, no stunt doubles. Science. Meet insanity. This little girl is crying, but not from fear, from hope. It's 1945. A Holocaust survivor, just reunited with her father after years apart. In a world rebuilt from ruin, love survived. No ropes, no nets, just nerves of steel. These men maintained the Eiffel Tower, by hand, hundreds of feet above the city. One wrong move, and it's history, captured in the early 1900s, or conjured from a dream. A man faces a vision, part musician, part spirit, mid-performance, or mid-warning. Is this art, trick photography, or a glimpse beyond the veil? She was born into slavery, but became a symbol of freedom. This is Harriet Tubman, photographed in her final years. The conductor of the Underground Railroad, who led hundreds to liberty. Even in old age, her spirit speaks. April 10th, 1912. The Titanic sets sail. The largest, most luxurious ship the world had ever seen. Over 2,200 people aboard. Dreams, hopes, and the promise of a new world. 4 days later, it was gone. In 1967, women weren't allowed to run the Boston Marathon until Catherine Switzer, bib number 261, broke the rules and history. A race official tried to rip her off the course, but she kept going. Because of her, millions of women now run free. Bib 261 became a symbol of fearless defiance. 3 men, 1 rooftop, no safety nets. In the 1950s, these acrobats risked their lives. Not for fame, not for money, but for art. One slip, and it's over. But for a perfect moment, they defied gravity. This isn't a scene from a movie. These are real children, taken at Auschwitz in 1944. moments before they disappeared into history's darkest chapter. They wore stars, but the world turned away. This was the last photo ever taken of John Lennon, just hours before he was shot outside his New York home. A Beatle, a peace icon, gone at 40, but his voice still echoes. At first glance, it looks like a father and son, but look closer. That's no child. It's a ventriloquist's dummy from the early 1900s. No strings, just stares and silence that never ends. This photo was taken in the 1800s. No Photoshop, no CGI. Early photographers used double exposure to create spirit photography. Chilling images meant to prove life after death. Real? Fake? Or just fear frozen in time? It's a 1930s beauty treatment, the perm machine. Dozens of wires, hours of heat, all for the perfect curl. Beauty, back then, equal parts patience and pain. Ever heard of a beauty machine that measures your flaws? In the 1930s, this beauty micrometer claimed to find your facial imperfections to the millimeter, just in case your eyebrows were 0.03 millimeters too high. 11 men, one steel beam, 800 feet in the air, no harnesses, no fear, just another lunch break during the construction of Rockefeller Center. This 1932 photo became a symbol of courage, grit, and the American worker. August 28, 1963. A voice rose above a crowd of 250,000. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood here, demanding justice, with words that shook a nation. I have a dream. This woman was arrested for demanding the right to vote. Her name, Emmeline Pankhurst, leader of the suffragettes. In early 1900s, Britain, women were jailed, beaten, and silenced. But they never backed down. This isn't a movie set. This is real war. 1945. A kamikaze strike hits a U.S. aircraft carrier in the Pacific. Flames, chaos, and courage under fire. This photo was taken in 1945. Inside Buchenwald concentration camp. Thousands lived like this, starved, stripped of dignity, waiting for death or liberation. This is what genocide looks like. On June 11, 1963, the world stood still. Vietnamese monk Thich Quang Duc set himself on fire, in total silence, protesting brutal persecution of Buddhists. He never moved. He never screamed. No Photoshop, no CGI, just Salvador Dalí. Being Dalí. In 1948, photographer Philippe Halsman snapped this wild shot. After 26 takes, it's called Dalí Atomicus, pure chaos, perfectly frozen. One man, 5 engines, over 7.5 million pounds of thrust. This is Wernher von Braun, the mind behind the rocket that took humans to the moon. From Earth to the stars, it all started here. Early 1900s. Bananas were rare, exotic, arriving by horse cart. Each delivery, a tropical event. And the people, dressed sharp. For fruit, a room full of brilliance. Scientists, thinkers, legends, gathered not for fame, but for ideas. Look closely. That's Einstein on the right. Calm, focused, listening. This wasn't just a meeting. It was the future, being written in real time. One gust of wind, and Hollywood history was made. Marilyn Monroe, 1954. The 7-year itch, a subway grate, a white dress, and the flashbulbs never stopped. More than a movie moment, this became a symbol. Paris, 1939. A crowd gathers, not for a parade, but for death. This is the last public guillotine execution in France. The scene? Chillingly ordinary. A morning event. A front-row audience. History doesn't always hide its darkest moments. The year was 1918. The world was at war and under masks. The Spanish flu swept across continents, claiming millions. This wasn't a science fiction film. It was daily life. History echoes. And sometimes it wears a mask amidst the chaos of war. Moments of pure humanity. A soldier, battle-worn. A child, grateful. A kiss, soft yet stronger than any weapon. This wasn't just a photo. It was hope, captured in real time. Before pay-per-view and flashy arenas, boxing happened right here, on the deck of a warship. 2 sailors, 1 rope ring, dozens of shipmates cheering on the action. No prize money, just pride, and maybe bragging rights till shore leave. London, 1940. The Blitz rages. Bombs fall. Buildings crumble. But the milk must be delivered. Through smoke and shattered streets, one man carries on. A quiet act of defiance. Because even in war, life finds a way. They weren't just building railroads, they were building history. African-American workers. 880. Forgotten but foundational. Through rock and steel, they forged paths a nation would follow. Subscribe for more stories of forgotten strength and legacy.